welcome back to another video. I just got my hair cut today. I hope you all like it. I'm exhausted. We have had a crazy long day, but I wanted to film a video because I just got my hair cut and, you know, it looks good right now. So, thought I would film this video. 10 worst things about having a service dog. Obviously, all the positives outweigh the negatives, but there is 10 negative things about having a service dog. So I really wanted to do that because if you're looking into getting a service dog, these are things that you should think about. So.
He said, Patches, I'm depending on your son to pull the family through. My son, it's all left up to you.
The first thing is pictures. People take pictures without your permission a lot. Pictures, videos, you name it, they do it. Not just of the dog either. Sometimes you're in them, and it's like, really, dude? I might not want my picture taken while I'm with my medical equipment. So pictures. The second thing is, I also have my notes. If you see me looking down, you probably see that I have notes. They are like, it's like having a 2-year-old at your side 24/7. It really is. You need to think about their needs. You know, if you go to a party, does my dog need water? Does my dog need to go potty? Does my dog need to, hi. You want to go in there? That door's never shut, but it is while Mama films. Because it just looks nicer. Huh? Yeah. So you need to think about your dog. Does my dog need water, food, to play? Well, that door's going to be open because he wants to go eat. What does my dog need? Are you fine now that the door's open? You just wanted to go in there because it was shut. I know you too well. So you need to think about what your dog needs. You know, if your dog's sick, you have to either decide to stay home and take care of them, or be able to venture out on your own. They're a living animal, so you have to think about what they might need. He wants to play with his ball again, like in the other video I filmed. But you have to think about what they need all the time, constantly. If you're at school, you know, and if you're in high school and you have that 5-minute break to get to classes, you know, you have to spend it on your dog because your dog needs exercise, your dog needs food and water. You always have to think about them. They are like having a 2-year-old. They make mistakes like a 2-year-old makes mistakes. They are a smart 2-year-old, and I get compliments that he's better behaved than most 2-year-olds. But they are still like a 2-year-old. Sometimes my camera shuts off by itself, so I wanted to make sure it was still running. And then the next one is takes longer to get things done. I've mentioned this in vlogs. Service dogs are dogs. They need to go to the park and play. They need to be kept up too. So if we go to the park every morning and, you know, I live somewhere where it's raining a lot, then chances are we have to come back home so I can wash him off. If we're getting ready to catch the bus and he has to go potty, I might have to miss my bus to take him potty or plan it ahead of time. And I have done that. I've had to miss bus rides because he decided he needed to poop right then, and I was like, really, dude? Really? But that's just another thing. It takes longer to get things done, and you have to plan into your schedule times for them to do these things. People ask my disability, and they don't always even ask it to my face. They've asked it to my friends. Like, when I'm out with my friends, they literally went up and whispered, so what's her disability? Like, seriously, people, that is so rude to ask someone's disability because they have a medical equipment in public. And I feel like they do this more with dogs rather than if it was a wheelchair. I mean, maybe they do it with wheelchairs and stuff too, but I feel like it's more so with dogs that people would just get so extremely nosy. Keep clean. Like I said, you need to brush him up with a doodle specifically because that's what I'm familiar with. He has to be brushed every day so he doesn't get matted or dirty. He also has to have a partial bath every day when he gets muddy at the park. You really do have to keep him clean. He gets a groom every 4 weeks. which is not cheap. So you really have to think about that. Training puppies. I do not miss the puppy stage. Here's a cute picture of Patches. Aw, so adorable. I don't miss it at all. Puppies are adorable, but there's puppy mouthing, he was potty trained in 2 days. I mean, an 8-week-old puppy doesn't necessarily have a developed bladder, so I still have to remember to take him out. But he knew to go to the door, and he knew how to go potty by himself. If you see him with a pillow, he is allowed to do that. It is one of his toys because it's ugly and I don't like it. So I gave it to him, just so if you see it, he's not being bad. I've actually given him a pillow because I don't like it. It's ugly. It matches my couch, and I don't like floral, so that's his. He knows he's allowed to play with it. But I just want to say that so you weren't like, he's being horrible. No, that's his. But anyway, so puppy mouthing. He learned all the basics in literally 5 minutes for each one thing. So that wasn't really hard. It's mostly puppy mouthing, healing, those kind of things that are really frustrating. You can't do much with a puppy because you can't work them at PA yet. They're way too young to be out in public. So there's not really much you can do. And you have to wait until they get their shots, until you can even take them to a pet store. So there's just a lot. Or start puppy classes, things like that. I don't like the puppy stage. I will get obviously another prospect when Patches probably turns about 8. So that way it'll be ready by the time he retires at 10 or 11. His breed will live to about 12 to 14 years, I think, is the lifespan. So I will get another puppy eventually, but I don't miss the puppy stage. It's not fun in my opinion. So training puppies, specifically, I like task training. I like it when they mature, when they turn about 1.5. Don't like it when they're a puppy. So training puppies, they're cute, they're adorable, don't get me wrong. I love it when I pass a puppy on the street. I just don't want to train it. Puppy mouthing and all the puppiness, puppy chewing on things, it's just not my cup of tea. I'd rather be training an adult dog that's mature and can learn tasks and things that are fun to train. PA issues, obviously. That's annoying. I've thankfully only had one PA issue. I did have one, which I don't talk about often, because my state recognized a service dog in training, and he was behaving perfectly, but we went into some place that denied him, and he was a service dog in training. I was still learning the laws, researching the laws, learning how to stand up for myself, and my friend kind of pushed me out, so it didn't help. So I did have one then, but I barely counted. And I actually am thinking about going back there and getting my right to be there. So now that I do stand up for myself and know how to stand up for myself. But training puppies, but PA issues are annoying. I've thankfully only had one, the fruit stand, which I will make an updated video on because I know that one was hard to, I don't know if I talked about this in my last video, but I know that was hard to understand me because my video camera was really crappy that I used there, and it's because it was this vlog camera I thought was going to be good, and then it wasn't. So it's really hard, staticky, and hard to hear. So I will make an updated one of those, just probably not today, because I have 2 videos I'm filming today. After this, I'm going to do 10 best things, because I need to outweigh the negatives. So anyway, can't do everything. For that, I mean, legally you can, but not really. If you go to a fair, you can't necessarily, if all your friends want to ride rides, including you can't really ride rides because you have a dog at your hip. I mean, that's not safe to do. I know Disney has kennels for service dogs. Personally, I would never trust Disney with my service dog, ever. I don't trust people that much. I don't trust anyone with my dog except people I personally know and have known a long time. So personally, I would not trust them. I don't care. I know I've had a little debate about this on Instagram of people being like, well, they're professionals. I would never trust Disney with my service dog, ever. If I planned to go on rides that day, I would board him so I could go on rides that day. You know, if my mom or someone was with me and I know I would be completely fine, I would put him in a boarders so that way I could go have fun while he was in a cool air-conditioned place playing with dogs. And And obviously one I trust. There's one at the beach here I trust. So obviously it would be one I trusted and have seen, but yeah, I would never trust Disney with my service dog personally. But you can't do everything. Like there's like zoos. Some zoos allow service dogs, like the one I took him to, because they're used to dogs being around, because normally they're pet friendly zoos or the animals have seen dogs, so they're used to dogs. However, some zoos aren't, and some zoos the animals get aggressive or anxious when they see dogs, and so you can't necessarily do that. Or like wildlife, sometimes there's like places where you can go out into like the wild and see animals, and you can't necessarily always do those kind of things with a dog because it's just not safe. I mean, it's just not safe. So you can't do everything. Like, yes, you can do more than the typical pet, and obviously they help you with that, but you can't necessarily do everything. Like, if you wanted to be a cook in a kitchen, service dogs can be exempt from that because of the fact that there's a dog around preparing food. So there's just things you can't necessarily always do with a service dog. Playing sports, I guess you could have them sit to the side, but you can't really necessarily have them while you're trying to throw a football and run and chase a soccer ball, you know, that kind of thing. So you can't do everything. And then kids' parents, not necessarily just kids, because kids are uneducated, they're learning, I get it, kids are kids. Kids' parents are the worst. I've had a parent tell a kid, go pet the doggy, look, there's the doggy. He looked at me like, what? And then when I say, oh, he's a service dog, you can't play with him right now, then they go back to their parents, who then proceeds to tell them, go pet the doggy, look at the doggy. Like I'm free entertainment. That just looks at me like I'm free entertainment. I'm not free entertainment. He is my medical equipment. So eventually you end up having to go to the parent and be like, look, this is a service dog. Please keep your kid away. It's the worst. And I cannot stand that some parents, and then they roll their eyes at you like I'm not here for your kid's entertainment or because you want to get something while your kid's distracted. I'm here because I need to get a gallon of milk. So kids' parents, not necessarily kids, because I get kids are learning. And actually, I've had a really good experience with kids. Most kids actually do know to ask before they pet him, or the parents, I hear, educating the kids on service dogs, or they just know and can read the patches and will even come up to me and be like, oh, it says do not pet. And like, so kids I've actually had really good experience with. Their parents have seriously been worse than the kids themselves. So kids' parents. And then timing. But timing things, like I said, you always have to plan, you know, is the dog going to need to go potty? Is the dog thirsty or hungry? You need to plan all these things between everything you have. If you take your dog to school or work, you know, you need to plan out and make sure they can go potty at certain times, make sure they can eat and drink at certain times. You just have to plan out your routine a little more rigorously than you would have to have you not had a service dog and you just have to worry about yourself. Because like I said, it's like worrying about another human being or another living animal. And for them to help us with our needs, we have to help them with theirs. So that is, I think, 10. I don't know, it might not be, so I'll have to count this when I go back and edit. But, yeah, obviously the positives outweigh the negatives. I could not do anything without him, so obviously I don't care that if I'm at a fair, I might not be able to ride a ride, because I couldn't do anything without him. And so I'm eternally grateful for him. And that's one of the reasons I decided to get a service dog, as I talked about in my last video. If I ever uploaded that, I think I will. I'm still kind of editing it. But, so yeah, so obviously the positives outweigh the negatives. I couldn't do anything without him. I'm eternally grateful for him and all his tasks and alerts and responses. And like mobility work, which I didn't even realize when I looked into getting a service dog how beneficial that would be. I've done things I could never have done had I not had his light mobility work. So I'm eternally grateful, and you know the negatives don't really matter. And that's one of the things you have to think about when you're looking for a service dog is, hey, is this stuff going to matter? Because if it matters, then you need to weigh that into your decision of getting a service dog. So that's it for today. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all things, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.